Welcome to Merschman Seeds Cup of Joe. On this episode, we cover a recent research article discussing the impact of spraying Dicamba and RoundUp together. Hear Joe, Ben, and Lynn's New Year predictions for 2023. Happy New Year from everyone at Merschman Seeds.
Hi, this is Joe Merschman. Welcome to Merschman Seeds Cup of Joe. Today we have Ben and Lynn, Turks off, but we'll be back next week. So this is the special session where we make predictions for next year. But before we go into predictions for 2023, we want to update you in a couple areas that hit the front page of our, I guess you might say, what we watch out for. So go ahead, Ben.
There's a few papers published on something that we have kind of known about in the past, and something we've even talked about on Cup of Joe in the past, but in typical academia style, it takes a long time to get the amount of conclusive data that's statistically correct. And there are a handful of scientists that are talking about the efficacy of spraying dicamba and the pros and cons of using RoundUp with that dicamba, and some of the changes that have been made by the increased amounts of drift reduction agents in those mixes. And I think Kevin Bradley has talked about this, and I think University of Illinois
Aaron
Hager has also talked about what happens. And I just want to talk about the first part of this is the drift reduction agent. When they increased the amount of the DRAs that you need to use, or the usage rate of the DRA, it actually increased the size of the droplet. When you increase the size of the droplet, you don't get as good as coverage, which makes sense because the droplets are bigger. They have a tendency to roll off rather than cover the leaf to get good surface area to kill the each growing point that's on a water hemp or a water hemp, palmer amaranth, whatever your target weed is that you're out there trying to kill. So there is published papers on this now, on the DRAs, and something that a good friend of yours had mentioned when we talk about the RoundUp is what is actually happening when you add RoundUp to the dicamba application is actually changing the pH on the inside. One of our local growers here that was on the Extend system found that out the first time that he sprayed it.
Yeah, day one, he called me up and said, I've got some off-target movement, but it seems to be worse where I mixed the RoundUp and dicamba. So basically, after all these years and a lot of studies, and this university paper has come out now and peer-reviewed, and basically says what, Ben?
It basically says that you're dropping the pH by a certain percentage, and that drop in the pH causes more volatility because the solution is more acidic, and that's what you're trying to avoid. That's why you don't use AMS. That's why you don't tank mix with Liberty, because that acidifying agent actually makes for more volatility, which also increases the kill when you're trying to get that dicamba salt into the pores of the target weeds that you're trying to kill. And that's another reason why they're losing efficacy when they're spraying RoundUp and dicamba together.
So we're putting that link there. You can read it for yourself, but the conclusion pretty much, if you want to go into all the technical stuff, pages and pages of technical data, but the bottom line is if you are using the dicamba system, the university publication, the papers that they just put out, says it's the best kill and the best control will come if spray dicamba by itself and then followed by RoundUp by itself. Do not mix them if you want the best kill and the least amount of off-target movement.
Correct.
So check it out. And I think our only reason for talking about this is to point out that the Enlist E3 system is, in our opinion, a better weed control system. So if you're seeing some problems with the Extend dicamba system, you're not killing weeds, it may be because you're spraying dicamba and RoundUp together. So something to think about.
Yep, and it's no different. We talk about what impedes the Enlist system and what's the best way to use the Enlist system, because there are things that you tweak to make better job, because that's what we're all, as agronomists, that's what we're all out here trying to do, is clean fields.
That's right.
Reduce weed populations.
You got to pay the bills. You got to have clean fields and high yields.
That's right.
Anything else, Ben?
Not in that aspect.
Okay. Well, let's get the old report card out from last year. And last year we made predictions. The first episode of the year, we always make predictions for the year. And I can tell you that, in college, you guys would be getting straight A's, you know that, because you hit a grand slam. Turk's not here today, and we'll talk about his prediction. He said, the weather in South America could potentially maintain and improve prices. He predicted a year ago that at some point you'll be able to sell $6 corn off the combine, no doubt futures contracts, and $15 soybeans off the combine. Now that's probably why he's not here today. He made so much money on the Board of Trade, he took a little short vacation this year. The reality is he was dead on. I mean, he hit 100% on that one. And Ben, he predicted very conservatively, because Ben's conservative, is that our genetics are just keep getting better and better and better. And again, he was 100% accurate. Our 22 class was better than 21. Looks like our 23 class is going to be better than 22. So keep moving to the new products. And rightly so, to piggyback on that, Lynn said we're going to have a big bean crop. Well, you heard Ben's prediction, so it was a natural that if we're going to have better genetics, we're going to have a big bean crop. But no, in general, he predicted a big bean crop. Again, right on. So I don't know. I'm surprised farmers that watch Cup of Joe, I mean, they're probably their main problem is going to be income taxes this year if they follow these things. So we'll get Turk's prediction on the prices here, but let's jump right into this year's predictions. I'll start off first. I didn't predict anything last year, so I wasn't wrong or I wasn't right. So that was safe.
Easy stance.
I wasn't here, so they went without me. But I do want to hear Turk's prediction, and we'll do that next episode on prices. I'm predicting that even though we're in the middle of inflation, we're going to start seeing deflation. In other words, by that I mean I think fertilizer prices are going to continue to fall. I think there's going to be pressure on herbicides. And as time goes on, particularly in the seed business, as you price things the year before, I think we have the opportunity to see seed prices go down in for 23, 24. We'll see. Depends upon the grain market prices and whatnot. But in general, I think things are coming back more into balance. So I'm predicting, in general, we're going to see things back into balance. So I don't know about the corn and soybean prices. I'm going to defer that to Turk. But I think it's going to be a great year for farmers if they play their cards right. I think it's going to be another good year. Ben?
So my prediction comes on the corn side of things. The more meetings we have, the more information that we can get on these new PowerCore Enlist varieties that are going to be Merschman branded. I think we're going to see some step changes when it comes to what corn yields can do, what disease resistance can do when we have products that are extremely resistant to tar spot or that handle that new disease very well. I think that we will see a step change once we have enough of these corn varieties scattered out across the Midwest in our sales footprint. I think we're going to have some very, very happy customers and some eager people to be buying these products once we move into the 24 sales season.
The new products look strong, and and you team that together with the Stein lineup, with the shorter hybrids, higher population, that whole concept. I mean, it puts a lot of balance in our offerings for 23, 24, no question about it.
So we already talked about our 114-day and our 115-day lineup that's going to be coming in the Merschman bag. Next week, we're going to talk about some new data that we came in that's finally been rolled in on our 108, our 111, and our 113 day. But there are some very, very impressive checks, and this is just in the 111 day. When we look at checks against Pioneer's 1197, DeKalb's 6465, Pioneer's 1185, Pioneer's 1359, DeKalb's 6435. When we look at all of this data, and once we get it published and branded correctly, there are some very good competitive products out there on the market, and we are able to hang in with those products and exceed what the products that have been proven out on the fields. We can edge out against those with some of these new genetics that are coming down the line.
I've seen the data. It's impressive. So stay tuned.
That's right.
Okay, Lynn, everybody's hanging on your words right now.
I'm going to take a very original approach here, and I'm going to go with we're going to have high yields again, 2023. We're looking at been bringing more products in. I think the new products that we have to look in the test plot settings and in the the 80 acre first look seed productions exceeded expectations. I think we are definitely honing in on the crafts from area sales managers and our dealers as far as finding that perfect meticulous placement for some of these soybeans for the guys that want to take that to the next level. And I think just in general, our customers are on the forefront of yield. They're very intuitive. They're very crafty with their fertilizer and different programs that, it's almost becoming redundant. And I don't want to say we're getting used to it, but I mean, every year we're hearing guys saying they're getting the highest yields I've ever had. And it's something that's very hard to not take that for granted. So, I think with everything that's coming out of MS Tech and stuff that's coming down the pike on that end, it's just hard not to make that prediction.
Well, I think you're right, Lynn, and we're not even talking about our biggest secret weapon, and that's Starting Line and Starting Line Plus, the step change that we put into our seed treatment with Heads Up and Trunemco on Starting Line Plus. I think we've beefed things up to minimize yield loss from early season diseases and even some of the mid-season diseases and nematodes. So I think you're right. I'll second that motion. Anything else?
Merschman dealers right now are your tax friends. So if you haven't wrote a check yet, need to get rid of some money, go visit your Merschman dealer and we'd be glad to help you out on that.
Yeah, I always say the only reason why you wait to buy your seed is because you want to pay more. So now's the time to get your seed lined up. Allows us time to get it produced and into your door. So that brings us to the corny jokes. Since we're starting a new year, I thought, I would use New Year's jokes, okay? So what's a corn's favorite holiday? What's a corn's favorite holiday? New Year's Day. New Year's Day, okay? What's a cow's favorite holiday? Moo Year's Day. Moo Year's Day, okay? They're going to get better, I promise. I don't know about you, but I look back on my New Year's resolutions from a year ago, just like we looked at our predictions. At the beginning of this year, I made a resolution on New Year's Day to lose 10 pounds. I only got 15 more to go.
Yep.
And last one here. What do farmers give their wives at midnight on New Year's Eve? What do farmers give their wives at midnight on New Year's Eve? Hugs and kisses.
Nice.
The other thing, you might wonder why is it a tradition to kiss on the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve? That's to start the year off right. So I'm suggesting that with your wife, okay? Not with each other, obviously. Anyhow, thanks for watching. We hope our predictions come true. We hope that you and your family are safe and that 2023 will bring you prosperity and good health. Take care.